Thanks for listening. If you like what you hear, support the show by joining the Nerd On Nation powered by Patreon. Go to nerdon.tv/Patreon and get Nerd On exclusives for as little as $1 a month. Nerd On the Podcast is proud to be powered by Focusrite, Embody, creators of Immerse Gaming, Odyssey, Amazon, and TCG Player. Enjoy the show.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nerd On, the podcast you didn't need but deserve, where all levels of nerd are welcome. We have myself, Tom, and Corey here. A little something different today. We are going to be talking about the new Marvel Secret Lair, but also Universe Beyond crossover with Magic the Gathering. To many players is dismay, but also to our enjoyment of imagining new cards. Look. It is what it is. Cards are going to happen, and let's try to curve the bullet and have enjoyment with it. So we played with the new commander cards that were really impossible to get. Corey, what was your card and your commander?
I played with Storm, Force of Nature. I built her as a extra combats Storm deck, so I just want to hit people a bunch of times. As quickly as I can with Storm. And I think it worked really well. I learned a lot from that first game. I made some tweaks, and she seems to be humming really nice. I did notice that, I don't know if you noticed this as well, but with a lot of these Secret Lair ones that they released, the commander is extremely important to your game plan. There's not a lot of ways to build around them that don't see that. So, you know, got to build in your protections and all that stuff. But all in all, very powerful card. Storm is a very strong, definitely if you can kill on sight commander. But I had a good time with her. It was really fun. What about you, Tom?
Well, first I want to just say we're gonna see if we can make even more powerful cards and break the game even more with these cards that we're creating. The commander I chose or was kind of left because, you know, in a pod you kind of want to pick something that's unique to you as well as unique to the pod, so that you're not having so many mirror matches. And funny enough, the rare one was Captain America. I don't think there was another Captain America in the pod. There was 2 pods there. And you know, you guys are watching, you know, commander videos online already. You're seeing deck tech builds. You can build it in various ways. A lot of them include throwing a Mjolnir or throwing an Excalibur at somebody. And I built a little bit of that. I am going to start shifting the game plan to be a little bit more blue, which is different, and that's what I want to do. I want to build different.
That's Happy Artifacts color.
Yeah, so
it's the Happy Artifacts color.
There are a bunch of, you know, there's Cauldron Complete, there is Argentum Armors in there, and at some point Reaver Cleavers in there, and if I have like about 15 treasures, that I am flinging the Excalibur multiple times, because
that'll be cool.
Equip is very low. But without that, without further ado, we want to get into cards we imagined Marvel can do with Wizards of the Coast. First cards we're going to talk about right now are going to be reprints. So cards with Marvel text or flavor, image, artwork, but they are cards that you're used to in the actual game that use in-universe Magic cards. And then after that,
I also want to say that Tom and I have not shared our builds with each other.
Yes.
So you will be seeing our honest reactions to each other's cards that we've built. And I'm very excited about that.
And then after that, we're going to do 5 new cards. Corey was a little excited, and he went above and beyond. So he made 6 new cards, but I only built 5. So 5 reprints, 5 new cards. And
Tom, if we're honest, I actually built 8 new cards.
Nice.
And was like cherry picking and accidentally just miscounted when I was uploading. So I have another one I'll post to socials somewhere.
Or if you guys really like the stuff that you see, like, comment, and then let us know if you want to see more, and we'll be happy to make more, because this was actually a lot more fun than we imagined.
Yeah. I actually kind of want to play test with these a little bit, like down the road. I think it'd be a fun episode to get together and
absolutely. Just
proxy decks out of these and see how it goes.
Yeah, doing what wizards won't do. That's the name. All due respect to all the designers.
No disrespect to the playtesters.
Exactly. Okay, so do you want to go first with your first reprint, or do you want me?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll go first with my first reprint, because I think we both kind of, this was the like gimme. Okay. This was the like, yeah, we're gonna do this one, of course.
All right. So yeah, tell us what it is.
So the first one I built is one that like I think Tom and I have tossed back and forth even when talking about this idea a bunch. Something I need in a Marvel, specifically X-Men set, and that is the fastball special, the fling. It needs to be there. It needs to be in there. This is like the number one that I came to, and yeah, it seemed like a no-brainer for me.
Oh yeah. A little behind the scenes. Corey asked me, he's like, "Did you do fling?" And I was like, "I did not," because in my mind I was like, "Oh, what good card would flavor would be great?" And I was like, "Fastball special." I'm like, "Of course that's fling." I was like, but
Yeah.
in the pre-production of all this, I was like, I can't do X-Men stuff because I know for a fact Corey's gonna do a lot.
I did all X-Men stuff. Like, let's just be really clear here. All of my cards are X-Men stuff.
And this is like, if you don't Wizards, we're giving you the keys, please.
Yeah.
Just send us a preview. Like, you don't have to pay us for this, but it's like, like if you don't do this, this is a design
Give
mistake.
us the preview cards. That's all we want.
Yeah, this is
That's
a
all we
design
want.
mistake if you don't do this. So with me, you will see my list, right? You see it here?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
my list, everybody, I was like, what is for the good and health of the game? Because to me, pre-cons have been killing it because they're like, cool, $40, $50, because sometimes they're overpriced. But they'll include like a really good reprint. And I think that is what makes the value of buying the pre-con. Or even for collectors, they're like, oh, I'll buy all 4 because I'm just going to get ink shields and I'm going to get all these other cards, right? And for me, I think having sets built around Marvel characters and cards is also a valuable time for you to, one, increase engagement and interest, but also incentivize the people who might be like, oh, I don't want to. But then you put in a reprint like my Chrome Mox Eye of Agamotto.
Oh, wow. Wow.
it's the Eye of Agamotto.
Look at that.
So Chrome Mox imprint, exile non-artifact land, non-artifact card from your hand, and then add 1 color of any of the exile cards colors to your mana pool. But yeah, it's Eye of Agamotto. It's the necklace that Doctor Strange wields in the MCU. It is the Time Stone, but in the comics, it's one of many different artifacts that Doctor Strange uses to channel the powers of gods in other realms, so he could become the Sorcerer Supreme and blah blah blah. But I just felt like, cool, a powerful artifact reprinted in the Marvel way, so that people have to be incentivized to partake and engage with this set, for people who may not be doing it. But also, I want one, and these cards cost like $70, $80. So I'm just like, just reprint these out.
I like your thinking behind it. I went all flavor, and you went, what's good for the health of the game?
I did. I was like, what's for
next time I'm gonna go more reprinty.
What's for the people? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, Eye of Agamotto is mine. And with that,
it's so good. So good.
And yeah, we'll move on to the next one.
So again, went all flavor on this one. This is an instant. I also pick spells that I use quite a bit and quite often. You know me, I love a little Nightcrawler boy. My next spell here is a reskin of Ghostly Flicker, which I called Bamf. So as you see there, very, very good card, very helpful card as far as like in a Nightcrawler deck or a Flicker deck. This is one of your go-tos along with like Blur. But Ghostly Flicker I chose for Nightcrawler because it can take another creature with him, which I really liked flavor-wise. Yeah, that it seemed like a no-brainer to me. Instant. Exile, I think I can't read it here, but I think it's creature, artifact, or land.
Or lands you control.
Yeah, and then they come back in. So we're teleporting in and out. We love it. We're doing Flicker shenanigans with Nightcrawler because why not? Why would you not? I also I need a card that's Bamf. I need a instant Flicker card called Bamf when the set comes out, and give it to me, please. Money, please.
I do like that you included the flavor. I can plunge you into darkness with but a thought. Nightcrawler to Apocalypse. Again, flavor wins. Flavor wins, yeah, for sure. I
remember reading that and I was like, well, I mean, the comeback Apocalypse is pretty badass. So it doesn't work out the way Nightcrawler wants. But that quote from Nightcrawler, I was like, yeah, I'm putting that on a card for sure.
Clean. You're definitely winning the flavor pool, I'm winning the value pool right now.
Yes,
But yeah,
right.
yeah.
With our powers combined, Tom, we can fix magic.
The ultimate set. The ultimate set. Cool. So my next card I chose. Again, I'm here for the people, here for the powerful reprints that needed it. This next one. I just actually Googled list of like cards that needed to be reprinted, and I was like, how do I change that into Marvel cards? So the next card I have is Finale of Devastation, aka We Have a Hulk.
Of course.
And the image is the Worldbreaker Hulk. It's X and green, sorcery. Search my library or graveyard for a creature card with X or less. And if you're going green, you're going to get a big thing. And again, going green, I felt like, again, if there is a Hulk card out there, obviously, hopefully he is green, and then you'll be able to cheat this guy out, and he's huge, and if it has a powerful ETB effect with like fight every creature, and it gains indestructible or monstrous, like it's the Hulk. And I think Finale Devastation is like, that's the one, especially with the World Breaker thing, because you don't want the like a board wipe on a creature card too much, or else you get like a Child of Alara that becomes like makes games longer. But if you have it on a spell, it's instant sorcery, I think that's just cool. I did not change the flavor text for mine because this was the first card I actually made, and I was like, I don't know how to change the flavor text, but
that's okay, Tom.
yeah, I would put something flavorful from the comics in there. But yeah, We Have a Hulk. Finale of Devastation is my second pick.
No, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want to have. So for my next one, I went really literal with the reprint. There's a card that I've always thought when they come out with a Marvel set, this is the one that makes the most sense to me, and it's Rogue's Gloves, which is a Rogue's Gloves. Yeah, flavor, dude. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card equipped to Rogue's Gloves. It just was like, as soon as you said this idea to make this set, that was actually the first one that came to my mind. I was like, this is so choice. This is a reprint I want. It's a solid card for any Voltron deck. It's one that I slide into any equipment deck will have this. It's card draw that's also helping your main game strategy. And Rogue's Gloves are just iconic. They're absolutely iconic. And of course I had to put the quote in there from the movie. So
yeah, you want to know what happens when I touch somebody? You want to end up in the hospital?
Yeah,
it's
actually, I think that's from the cartoon. She says it to Gambit.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah.
Man, that's good. I honestly didn't even know that card existed. So for the watchers, for the listeners, yes, I maybe shouldn't be the person making cards, because my card pool knowledge is limited. But that's a really cool card. The fact that you're like, it's literally the same card. I'm like, yep, that makes sense. I like it.
Yeah, I didn't have to change the name at all. It's just it's Rogue's Gloves, and it's beautiful choice. Really good.
Okay, so the next one I had in there. So again, I was talking about how I had a Captain America deck, and I wanted to go a little bit more on the blue side. I won't exactly explain the thought process on it, but this card will kind of explain like why I want to go in a different build for Captain America than what everyone else is building. My next card is Hail Hydra, Inevitable Betrayal.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a blue sorcery, suspend 3, 1 in blue. Search target opponent's library for a creature card, put that on the battlefield under my control, then shuffle that player's library. It's Inevitable Betrayal, but it's Hail Hydra, and I just felt like that was such a cool moment in the comics when that happened, because funny enough, these characters have like been existing for decades, and it was just such a climactic moment when the reveal of what was going on and who was pulling the strings, and it was that Captain America had become like this sleeper agent for Hydra. I know a lot of people who read the comics were not super thrilled with the ending of it all, but I think it was cool just to have OG Cap and then Hail Hydra Cap fighting at the end, and then the embodiment of the cosmic cube. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, but Hail Hydra in itself, I'm like, I don't know what else you would make for a Hail Hydra card, and I feel like that's just like, if you want to have a Marvel set, you need to have iconic moments, and I think that's one.
Oh, dude, and Inevitable Betrayal being the sub flavor text is just, mwah.
Yeah,
we love this.
Yeah,
we love this as a
really
card.
Cool. Yeah,
great card, a lot of fun. Good times. Well designed, Tom.
I tried to play this many times. It's never happened for me. So if it happens, Wizards, it'll be because you made it this card.
My next card I made with Tom in mind. I love you, Tom. I love me some interaction. I love me some blue. So I chose Resculpt with one of the most iconic Magneto moments I could think of on it. And one of the most the coldest lines Magneto's ever spoken to Wolverine. He's got a lot of cold lines, but this one I remember reading this being like, oh good lord. It is a instant for 2, 1 and a blue. Exile target artifact or creature. Its controller creates a 4/4 blue and red elemental creature token. The flavor text for me is what it's all about, which it's from the original moment. This artwork is a reimagining, but the original moment, this is what Magneto says. He says, "A tragedy called life, Logan, but today for you, and perhaps for me, the curtain falls and the play is finished." This is where Magneto is ripping the metal, the adamantium from Wolverine's body, and since his healing factor is anyway, it leads to primal Logan, which is a lot of fun. But yeah, this was when I was thinking like, how do I get a spell with Magneto in it? I was going between this and Fabricate because Fabricate's so good, but I couldn't stop thinking about this moment in the comics, and I was like, it's got to be Resculpt. I want this art on a card. I want this moment represented in Magic. It's so iconic. And Resculpt is again, I went with a lot of cards that I use that are like staples in a lot of my decks. And so yeah, Resculpt made a lot of sense to me, and I was like, I think Tom's gonna dig this one.
I do, and I've been upping my interaction game, and Resculpt is something that I feel like, because I play a lot of Dimir, and with Dimir you get a lot of creature removal, but sometimes people have, recursion, and you're just like, I just need this gone for the rest of my life. And I know white, Corey plays a lot more Azorius than I do, so like him able to have access to exile effects versus me is destroy effects. Blue in that happy medium, like, oh, an exile feels great. Yeah.
Blue exile is a good feeling. So yeah, Resculpt, Magneto just doing his thing. We love it.
That's good, and I like this.
And it would go in your Grixis Magneto deck if you want to. If Magneto is Grixis, I don't know.
I think
he's gonna be blue. We know he's got blue in it. So your Magneto deck can have this moment in it, and we love that.
I think it's great. I really like this artwork. I know the original one, but like, yeah, this is a really cool reimagining that looks like it would fit this, like, be on a card for sure.
Fit on a Magic card, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I found a textless version of the original art, and then I saw this, and I was like, I think this one's fits better with the cards.
It absolutely does. Yeah. Absolutely does. So I'm gonna dip in with Corey, and I didn't go full on creature or anything like that, but this is. It's kind of like a creature, but I feel like another reprint that needed. And again, I don't normally play these colors, but green needed this reprint, and it is the Great Henge, but it's Living Island Krakoa.
Yes, Tom. Yes.
And I was just like,
we love it.
I was like, you can make Great Henge Groot or whatever, but I'm like, but it's like a thing that like interacts with your creatures and makes them stronger, and then also you need to like, it does so much that I was like, oh, that's Krakoa. That's Krakoa for me. And I don't know how, Corey, you're one of them, but I don't know how a lot of fans of Krakoa will be like, oh, you didn't make it like a creature, you made it an artifact. And I'm like,
you didn't make it a creature or a land, like I could see that. I could see where they're coming from for that, but like, honestly, again, needed reprint. And if you name it, like, what did you call it? Krakoa?
Living Island Krakoa.
Yeah, you could also rename it and then have a second Krakoa that's a creature.
Yeah, that
maybe turns into a land or something,
In the next portion where we talk about all brand new cards, that was kind of my thought process of like, there's how many Jaces, there's how many Kaitos, there's how many Rakdoses.
But the flavor of like it helping your creatures and giving you green, I think it works. I could see where you're coming from, but I would be happy with this if I, as a Magic player and as a Marvel X-Men fan, giving Krakoa Ancient Henge would be
I also just feel like a lot of mutant cards are going to have green in them, so you should have this in there. All right, that's mine. Great Henge, Living Island Krakoa.
My last one here is where I was thinking more of, I want the reprint value. This card needs to be reprinted, and it's a pun. So if you want to go ahead and open it up first, Tom, you'll see that this is Torment of Hailfire, but I renamed it Torment of
Hellfire Club.
because of the Hellfire Club.
Yeah.
One of the classic villains, villain
Frost,
teams for the
Sebastian
X-Men.
Stan, yeah. Or
Yeah.
Shaw.
The Sentinels in the background. I just thought this would be a sweet villain card for the X-Men world. The quote also was just fire to me that I found. You'll all be guests of the Hellfire Club for the rest of your natural lives. Emma Frost intimidating everybody in the room as she usually does. Yeah, I want this reprint. I thought the Hellfire was too good to pass up. And I think people would be really happy with this. Yeah.
Again.
It's a villainous card. It's a villainous card.
I was just gonna say again, another point, Corey, for the flavor. Always the flavor. I'm like, these are good. These are really good. Like Hellfire. They're like, that's really good. That's smart. I like it. And I'm just like, man, it works. And again,
hard to find Hellfire Club art, by the way. This was like
true.
1 of 4.
And also, I was gonna just say, like, man, I know there's gonna be a Spider-Man set, but man, an X-Men set. Again, it's money on the table. It's money on the table.
Yeah. Wizards, call me. I can help you with this set. I promise you, I can help you with this set.
We can do it.
That's my last reprint there.
Okay, so this will be my last reprint, and this is going to be a little bit of a deep cut, and I hope a lot of the Marvel fans will enjoy this. Again, I'm here for the people, for the health of the game. No more digging deep in your wallets, finding money in your mom's sofa. It's time that cards get reprinted so everyone could play it. Everyone could have powerful decks. It's Deadly Rollick, but as the ultimate nullifier. So the ultimate nullifier, it's an artifact, so it's weird, but like to me, again, we were talking about removal, and like the ultimate nullifier was used against Galactus when Reed Richards was able to, like, you know, again, nullify the power of Galactus and this huge MacGuffin-y weapon. But yeah, it's 3 and a black. If you control a commander, you may pay this spell without paying its mana cost. Exile target creature. It's a free spell if you have a commander.
Works.
Exactly. And
nullifier, exile creature. We love this.
It's not a Rollick, but like it is. I'm like, this, you have to, like, I was like, other than like a Torment of Hellfire, or like something that exiles all creature, like a Farewell or something like that, or I was just like, I need to do it in a card that needs to be reprinted. Again, I was thinking my wallet first, flavor second. Corey, I know you were like flavor or die.
Flavor or die. Well, Torment of Hellfire was the one that I was like, I've wanted this card forever, and the only reprint we've ever got is that Comic Sans goofy one.
Really? You don't have one?
I don't have one. No, I need one for my Agnes deck, and I don't have one.
I might have one.
Someday.
We'll talk.
Someday. Oh, we got some trades. We do.
We do.
Yeah, we'll talk.
All right. So this is how it is, people. This is how normal conversations go between players. Ultimate Nullifier, Deadly Rollick is my final pick for reprints, which...
Solid. Moves us to our next section where we did 5 cards that we wanted to imagine, new cards that we wanted to imagine in these scenes. Again, I went all X-Men. Tom's going to have more Marvel flavor than me across the different universes. I was very hyper-focused. As you can tell, I'm very excited for a Marvel set, for an X-Men set. But yeah, we've got to create 5 brand new cards that we would like to see, might be a little broken, but we would like to see added to the upcoming sets. Do you want me to start this one as well, or you?
Yeah, you go ahead, because we're going back and forth, and you'll actually end it with your honorable mention.
That's right, with my honorable mention. Okay, so the first one I did is one of my favorite X-Men characters of all time, and it is Colossus Steel Protector. A legendary artifact creature, mutant hero. For 2 and 3 white, you get a 5/6, indestructible. Non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control is dealt, little typo there, to Colossus Steel Protector instead. So we kind of have a Brash Tantra effect where you're kind of, or a Pariah Shield effect where you're redirecting damage. And then he has an ability that's 1 and a white called Superhuman Strength. Colossus Steel Protector gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control, because he's a protector. And then the quote, a true hero is measured by his compassion. Yeah, I wanted to make a Colossus a guy who cares about little guys. So like in a token deck, he's going to be great. So yeah, I thought when I was thinking about him, I was like, he's going to protect the little guys. He's going to be a protector. I'll take all the damage. He's indestructible. I don't think indestructible is overpowered anymore with how many exile effects we have in the game. So I didn't feel too bad adding that first bit to redirect the damage to him. He doesn't have trample or anything. So the power that he gets is, I was trying to balance it the best I could. Obviously, there are tons of ways to give artifact creatures flying or unblockable or a lot of other things. So you can add those in your deck later on. But I felt like a good base. He could be a good commander. He could be great in the 99 of a token deck. I'm pretty happy with this.
That's actually really solid building, and you're gonna see how stupid mine are.
Okay.
And also,
really
real quick,
trying to balance them the best.
yeah,
I can.
you're making good balances, and I'll also real quick, that artwork you picked is really dope. Like, it's perfect for
Thank
this
you.
full frame look. And I'm like, it's because again, it's punching through the frame of the comic, which is through the frame of the card. It's great, and Steel Protector. This is absolutely something that's like, people who love this stuff will be happy to play this. That don't exist. Cards that don't exist.
Wizards, call us. So yeah, this is, if we build our proxy decks, this might be my commander. We'll see.
Sure. Okay. My first one in my mind's eye that I was just like, cool, I did this. And this is like the second or third card. Oh no, this is the first new card I created because I was just like, I have to. Because in my mind, Wizards, prove me wrong, but I don't think you're gonna do a card like this or make this card specifically. My first new card was the Superior Spider-Man. Let me make it easy for you to see it now.
Can you make that bigger for me? Because I want to see it. Yeah.
So
oh yeah, Grixis.
So it's one. So the Superior Spider-Man. Make sure you have the hyphen. 1 in Grixis. Legendary creature, mutant vigilante hero. I was so close to making him a villain, but I was like, I'll make him a hero. First strike, reach. Because he shouldn't have flying. I don't think he should have haste. I don't think he should have anything other than first strike, because like he is spider sense, so he should be a little faster than another person. But I did build this off of Sauron, so there was just a wall of text.
Sure.
Whenever the Superior Spider-Man attacks, draw a card. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 2/2 blue artifact spider creature token with reach. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, tap a creature. Tap target creature.
Okay.
So
because this is Doc Ock, right?
This is Doc Ock. So it's
Right.
Otto
That
Octavius
makes a lot.
inside of Peter Parker's body. The image I used is during the I forget what's called. I forget, it might have been the Spider-Verse event where there's like all these dudes trying to kill the totems, the spider totems of every universe, and that's when like you got Childish Gambino, Miles Morales meeting I think Drake Bell's Spider-Man and all these different Spider-Man met. It was really, really cool. But they all met in comics too. And even like the video game one met. But yeah, Superior Spider-Man, Doc Ock.
I like it.
He's a little bit more villainous, but he is still trying to do the right thing.
Sure.
But like he is kind of oppressive when you play with him. But also
First strike and reach makes a lot of sense.
First strike reach, also 3 and a 5, because 3/5 power toughness, because I felt like Spider-Man is never the most powerful, but he is very durable. I think he's always like
well, he holds back his punches.
True. But yeah, that's
great card design, Tom, and of course Grixis. Gotta love you for that.
I would play this.
First one's gonna be Grixis.
I'd play this for sure, because Spider-Man can't beat Grixis. He can't. Peter Parker, no way. All right. Next.
A+, Tom.
Thank you.
Well done. My next one, what are the X-Men without Cerebro?
Oh my god.
So I made a legendary artifact equipment for 4. Equipped creature has ward 2 and is a mutant in addition to its other types.
That's good.
Whenever this creature attacks, you may put a mutant card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. Return that card to your hand at the end of your next end step. Equip 3.
You give him Blitz? Holy crap.
You give it Blitz. So like originally when I first built this, I was like, search your library for a mutant card and put it in your hand. But then I was like, I feel like repeatable tutor like that is too busted. And in a equipment deck where you're gonna have haste and so many protections, it felt like, oh, let me just go grab all my combo cards this turn and whatever. So I figured, well, if you have it in your hand, a lot of these mutants, we can have ETB effects and stuff like that. Could be really good. Again, trying to balance it the best I can. I'm trying to like, what would a real card be like? But ward 2 and making it a mutant felt felt on flavor as well. But Cerebro. I want to see Cerebro as an equipment. This is the best I could do. I got to build a mutant deck, and this is going to go in there. I'm just dropping huge mutants. I'm going to drop a Juggernaut onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking.
Oh my! It's
like
Satoru
a 10/10
on
indestructible.
equipment.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Oh
It essentially is.
Oh my!
I also nerfed it because originally I said equipped creature gets whenever this, but then I was like, there's too many things that double attack triggers that way. So this way you're kind of limited a bit. I don't know. I was trying to balance it the best I could, but I think this works. I think this works as is. The 4/3 cost is good for a Ward 2. Maybe I could give something evasion, but I thought, again, I felt like sneak attack on a equipment where you don't sacrifice it afterwards is pretty great.
I mean, let's just be honest. Everyone listening, I know you guys all love the MCU. I'm not trying to yuck your yum, but let's be honest. X-Men versus Avengers don't stand a chance. X-Men are so powerful. Like the mutant population in the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
so strong.
Without a question, without even thinking about it, it's just done. Just out. So
the other thing I took off this card that I originally had on there was whenever this creature attacks, you essentially brainstorm, right? You draw 3 and put 2 back, because I was like, Cerebro, brainstorm, we love it. But then again, then the text looked like a fucking novel.
Yeah.
So I just went with this. I think there are ways you can keep playing with it to get the, draw your deck a little bit in case your hand is empty, so it's not a dead card, but this is what I landed on for now.
I mean, it's gas. It's like one of those Helm of the Host equipments that you're just like, ooh, okay, guys. But yeah, you build around it so that it works very well. So like, cool, you're making sure, you can't have it all in one card. You have to build around it.
Yeah. You can't just be self-sufficient, Cerebro. Your other equipments can draw you cards to then put this on.
Yeah,
so
put a Binathassa with Submariner, another mutant. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There you go. So that's Cerebro. That's my second card. My
next card. Creature wise, this one's a little so if we've been playing with gas, I'm gonna go a little slower. My next card I created, I was just thinking, I was like, I wanted to see variety. I wanted to see like something different, but I did also throw a wall of text, which is also kind of stupid. So my next new card was Frank Castle, because I wanted other Frank Castles around.
Love it.
Frank Castle, Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Dude, yes.
So it is a 1 in Rakdos. So it's a Rakdos commander, legendary creature, spirit warrior hero. And it has haste, double strike. It's a 2/4. So I like big booties. I think I'm liking big booties more on my cards more often. So Rakdos, Sakdos, right? Whenever an artifact you control is sent to the graveyard from anywhere, exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy, except it's a spirit in addition to other types, with this creature's power and toughness are equal to the exiled card's converted mana cost. So your artifacts are going to the graveyard, they can come back. It's a little Hoffrey engine-y, but it's in Rakdos, not in Boros. But also, whenever an artifact enters the battlefield, Cosmic Ghost Rider deals 1 or more damage to target player or creature.
Wow.
So I wanted, like you're throwing out your artifacts. Yeah. Also, I just kind of wanted.
It feels very Rakdos-y though.
Yeah, I wanted Rakdos to have. I feel like Esper artifacts are just insanely powerful, and I wanted Rakdos to have a chance, other than like we've seen Imskir and Mishras, and I'm just like that's cool, and even other actual Rakdos. But there is a taste of things to come at the bottom. Because if anyone knows the Cosmic Ghost Rider story, he's riding through the universe at the end of time, and he has to go back in time and I think raise or kill baby Thanos. So there's a bottom line text that says partner with baby Thanos. So I'm like, it's a partner commander, and I'm like, should I was like,
did you build it?
I did not build it because I was like, what? I will let the audience,
let the imaginations.
Yeah, let the people be like, what would baby Thanos be like with Frank Castle? If you guys don't know the story at the end, it's interesting because then there's old man Thanos. But yeah, Frank Castle, Cosmic Ghost Rider. He actually, personality-wise, is a lot more like Deadpool because he's like kind of got insane over the years of torment that he's endured as a Ghost Rider.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he's actually a very comical character. But yeah,
love it.
And I felt like I didn't.
Well done. That feels Rakdos flavor, Tom, is on point. Spicy. The partner's choice. I love this.
Yeah, I was like,
good design.
Flavor.
Good design.
The flavor.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next for you.
My next card. We're just building our way through my favorite X-Men, buddy. Next card is an Is It legendary creature called Gambit Card Shark.
Oh my god.
2 and an is it, so 4 total. Legendary creature, mutant hero rogue. You have no maximum hand size. Gambit Card Shark's power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand. Again, he doesn't have draw on him, and he has an ability. Well, he does, but you'll see. It's looting. It's not draw. He has 3 mana, 1 and a is it. Stack the deck. Draw a card and discard a card. Gambit Card Shark deals damage to target opponent equal to the discarded card's mana cost. So we're throwing cards. We're throwing cards and having them deal damage.
I would super build this because of also.
I feel like it's not OP, but it's good.
But also the flavor on the bottom.
Oh, I'm just an honest man living in a dishonest world. Remy LeBeau.
That's
and then
how
his
I
power
feel
and toughness is his power and toughness is star, and his toughness is star +1. So he'll have power and toughness equal to your hand size, but his toughness will always be +1. Yeah, man. I was building this, and I was like, at first I wasn't sure what colors he would be. I thought maybe Grixis, but I was like, because the rogue, like he's like kind of anti-hero-y, but no, he's a good, like Gambit's a good dude.
He's a good guy.
He wouldn't dip into black. He's not trying to power at all costs kind of thing. And then the stack the deck ability, obviously you build a card draw deck around him, but I didn't want him to be necessarily the engine. I wanted him to be more of the payoff. Again, I don't love commanders that are like, if you don't have this out, you can't play the game. So yeah, I wanted him to benefit off a card draw deck, but not necessarily be the centerpiece. But when you have him out and you're using the stack the deck ability, we love this. If you have something like Training Grounds out, right? Mm-hmm. You're reducing his ability cost by 1, so it's just a red and a blue. Yeah, I was really excited about this one, and of course I'm giving Gambit no maximum hand size because where does he get all his cards?
Flavor. I'm really surprised. I'm very also very proud of your restraint for not putting in. Gonna make myself a name out here today.
Oh yeah.
I'm just very. I was like, it's there.
I'm about to make a name for myself out here.
It's
no,
clear.
I went with mostly. I think I went with all comic book quotes. I don't think I did movie quotes at all.
Yeah.
And this is a quote I've loved forever. This is so good.
It's good.
This is Gambit to a T.
Oh yeah.
So that's Gambit Card Shark.
No, that's really good. And also, I'm one of those players that doesn't know how to play Is It, and this is one of the players I'm like, oh, I would be super down for this. I would be super down for this.
Again, I was originally gonna build it as like a fling, like you're throwing non-creature permanents at people, but it didn't feel right. Like I wanted the cards to matter, the cards you have in hand to matter for Gambit, because that's what matters to him.
I mean, he's in the right colors. You can have Bosch, the Iron Golem guy, in there, so he's throwing artifacts. So.
Yeah. You can have that be a Colossus reskin. It'd be great. All right, that's Gambit. Next card, Tom.
My next card. This one I was actually pretty proud of. I had to find it. It's the one I showed Corey in a text. Apocalypse. One who survives. Look at that, Corey. I'm doing mutants too. So this one is a house. This is like a brick house. I
love you, but this is busted.
This is broken. This is so broken. Don't print this. Don't make this. It's too broken. But I will say I don't know if this is as broken as my other cards that I built, because at some point I was like,
look at that.
Look
at those keywords.
So Apocalypse, one who survives, is 3 in Sultai, a Sultai command. Because I felt like he's old and ancient, but he's also like survival of the fittest. And Sultai to me has been translated to power with perception. If Grixis is power at all costs, then power with perspective, seeing that how nature is truly the most powerful thing, and then utilizing that in that way. Apocalypse is that guy.
The more I read the card, the more I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
So it's hexproof, trampled, double strike, because this guy, again, Apocalypse can
He's
fight.
He's the dude.
In the Secret Wars comic, there is a Thor core, and Apocalypse is just punching all of them. He's going against all Thors from different realities. And I'm like, that's one mutant. Technically immortal. But of course, he's a mutant. How would he not have mutate? One, interchangeable blue, black, and a green. So mutate allows you to mutate the card on top or below another creature, and then it will get those abilities of that creature. So in my mind, I wanted to have a mutant commander, and I think Apocalypse is a very much like, oh, I can. He likes to assimilate powers, and I'm like, I think that's really unfair for him. The next line, you may cast Apocalypse, one who survives from your graveyard using its mutate ability. So your commander, it dies. You want it to die. You mutate it on top of another guy.
Bro,
he comes
it's gotta
back.
be four. You gotta be. It's gotta be four. It's gotta be like one blue, that hybrid green black. Like it's gotta be 3 is so.
And then it also has I don't know if I how to write it properly, but ETB Discover 5.
Yeah.
And I think Discover is just like a powerful thing because it's like, again, he's building his army.
Better cascade.
And that's the thing. It's better to cascade, and that's the thing. It's like I made him so that he's super expensive.
It's arch enemy though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I think you have him like that. He's a mutant noble villain for sure. He's a villain. There's no way around it. Especially this way I built it. You can do like Eben Sur pre-apocalypse or Eminent One, and then it's like he's a hero. It's like, okay, cool, but like Apocalypse,
Trample double strike.
yeah, he's. I mean, I almost put Death Touch. I'm like, no, I can't. Like that's too much. You
The
can't.
flavor text you put. You know what you do? You finish the Nightcrawler scene on his flavor text, where he says, "I could plunge you into darkness with but a thought," and Apocalypse says, his quote on there would just be, "I have fought in darkness for longer than you could imagine." Apocalypse to Nightcrawler. We love this.
That's it. You and
Tom,
I created the most powerful.
I love this card, but do not print this card. It's just crazy.
Turgrid, eat your heart out.
Yeah, no. I would play this before Turgrid for sure, though.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Turgrid's super toxic. But yeah, that's it. Apocalypse who survives, Sultai Commander.
Wow.
Broken card. My other cards are more broken, by the way. So,
they are more broken.
More broken.
So yeah, you showed restraint, and I was like, how do I balance these? Because I want them made, but you know. I love it.
No.
I love it. Let the imagination grow, because you can always pull it back, Tom. It's hard to push things forward. You can always pull it back when you need in playtesting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, my next card might be a surprise to Tom, actually.
Okay.
And I was really excited about this one. It is another legendary creature. It is William Stryker, Fearmonger.
Oh, Orzhov.
Orzhov human, vigilance. Other humans you control gain vigilance. And for 4, 2 and Orzhov, he has an ability called Blasphemy. Target non-human creature becomes a 1/1 human citizen and loses all abilities till end of turn.
That's terrible.
God created man. The Bible makes no mention of mutants, William Stryker.
That is terrible.
We love this.
Do you want to give the audience, or those who may not know, who this character?
William
comes
Stryker in God Loves, Man Kills is a televangelist who is basically God Loves, Man Kills is the. You want to know what X-Men's about? Read this book. It's about people who are discriminated against because they're different, and people unwilling to see the humanity in them just because of their differences. Because mutants are humans. They are humans. They are humans with a mutation, but they are human at the end of the day. And Stryker is the worst of them. And in the comic, I won't spoil anything, but he has his past with a mutant that is absolutely terrible. So he hates them, and so I wanted to give him an ability that turns a non-human creature. I was gonna say mutant, but like non-human felt right as well. Mm-hmm. I think mutant would have been on flavor, but like I don't know. You're gonna have a lot of them that say human mutant as well, probably. So non-human creature becomes a 1/1 human citizen and loses all abilities. So he strips them of their mutant power because that's also what he was doing because he's a bad man.
Very,
in the comic, he was taking powers away.
Very on flavor of like the evil of Orzhov too. So it's very good.
Yeah. And Orzhov humans are a huge thing as well. So this will fit in the 99 of a human deck. Blasphemy maybe could have been 3 instead of 4. But Stryker sucks, man. He's a bad guy. So this when I built this, I was like, I think this could be a real card. I think this could work as well. I also just love the idea of turning off their abilities. Like he did in the comics.
And
so,
I
there it is, William Stryker.
And I want people to who are watching this to just really underline Fearmonger, because as Sheldon Menery said, hate has no place here, right? So it's like to forcefully change stuff is an act of aggression.
And then I had to use this picture. I mean, I'm sure there's better William Stryker pictures, but for me, this is the Stryker.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's it.
Okay, for mine, that's great. I love that one a lot, especially
I wanted to left field a little bit for you. I was like, I don't think he'll think I'll make a
I mean, every good hero needs a good villain, and that's a great villain. That's a great villain. Okay, so my next card is really broken.
Okay.
It is it's a little meta. But mine is going to be Wanda Maximoff, Multiversal Mother. Another Rakdos card, because I feel like Rakdos doesn't have like insane, stupid powerhouses that are just like just stupid. You may disagree, but I'm just like, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff you have to do with it, but Wanda herself is like, that's it. I wanted her close to being like almost unfair to play with, where like she's a little bit crick. So it's 2 in Rakdos, legendary creature.
Crick with hexproof is terrifying.
Legendary creature, mutant wizard hero, because even female magic people are wizards, not sorceresses or whatever. But flying, death touch, hexproof, because again, it's like, cool, she's on. How are we gonna deal with this? Board wipe. And I kind of almost wanted to make the no more mutants, but that's definitely a sorcery or a board wipe. But so it's like the only way to get rid of her is with a board wipe for sure. Or just counter it immediately. So like don't let her hit the field or just board wipe it. She's 3/4, again, another big booty. But its ability is I think the one that's like the most Darkhold Diaries, WandaVision-y, Multiverse of Madness-y. I went a little bit into that realm instead of how she kind of is portrayed in the comics. But pay X life, exile target creature equal to creature's converted mana cost. So immediately hit the board and you just start exiling anything you want. Like it's just done. It's evil. It's mean. The flavor is you break the rules and become a hero. I do it and become the enemy. That doesn't seem fair. Very iconic line from the Multiverse of Madness movie. But yeah, I just felt like
good art too. I like that art a lot.
This is one of those things I'm like, man, I was trying to find, because I agree that you shouldn't have too much of a too scantily clad where it's like exploitative for your comic book characters. But I do want women readers who are like, yeah, we have sexy ass characters on there, and you know we can objectify, and it's like as like dudes were like, we love the machismo crap too, but it's like, oh yeah, we want a babe. Like yeah, everyone wants a babe. But it's not super exploitative.
The Pay X Life also Rakdos.
Yeah.
Flavor win right there.
And the thing is, I didn't give her, I was almost going to give her lifelink, and I was like, that's too much. That's too much. Because I feel like
you build around her a little bit.
Yeah, I would build around where it's like, cool, you're going to be using your own life.
Give her lifelink.
Exactly.
Give her lifelink.
No. I don't want to give her lifelink. No. Oh, give it to her with another ability. Yeah.
No. I'm saying like you have to earn the lifelink to make her. That's like how I was thinking with Cerebro. I was like, it can be broken, but let's build around it.
Yeah.
You know, Gambit, you do your own card draw, but he will reward you for it. You get your life gain. She will reward you for the life gain.
Yep. Absolutely.
I love this.
Thank you. Cool.
This might be this and Spider-Man. I think are my favorites so far because it just feels really, really well thought out.
Not Apocalypse. Not just stapling terrible things.
Look, in Two-Headed Giant, Tom. If I'm on your team, hell yeah, let's do it. I'll run mutants, you run Apocalypse. It'll be great. My last card, you know what it's gonna be already, Tom. It's a creature. It is Nightcrawler, Cunning Duelist. He's a 2/3 for 1 and a Azorius. He has first strike, but then he's an Esper commander because he's a demon thing. Legendary mutant hero, and he's got an ability called Bamf, just like the card. Exile Nightcrawler, Cunning Duelist, and return him to the battlefield under your control. If he was attacking, he deals combat damage to defending player as though he weren't blocked.
So it's like a pseudo ninjutsu.
He someone tries to block him, he teleports around him.
Wow.
We love this. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability triggers only once per turn. Now, that seems good, but with flickering him, that resets the 1 per turn, and he'll draw for himself. So if you want to build a flicker deck with him, he'll reward you, and he can do it once by himself if you have the mana. So there are some ways to bust him open a little bit, but on his own, he's not busted, which I like. So obviously I was like, well, it's going to be a flicker deck. I want a flicker commander. I want something that's going to reward me for flickering. So I can flicker other things, draw a card, but I'll have to flicker him again to be able to draw more cards. That's and then the flavor text, you lack talent, style, und flair. There's Nightcrawler. This is my ideal Nightcrawler card. In a perfect world, they build something like this. Flicker matters. We love this.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He's an Esper commander.
That one gives me the agita. Esper Flicker scares me. That's the scariest thing. I get it.
You build the apocalypse. I feel, I got mine.
So,
but I feel like this could exist. I feel like this isn't far from what could be built.
Oh yeah, no. I think this is really cool. I think actually like a fight trick like that I think that's really cool too. Like I like when Esper does, like, I'm not just stacking and then just playing stuff out of my hand. It's more like I'm interacting. I'm going to do combat. I'm going to do game actions in that regard. I'm like, that's pretty cool. And it's active on their turn, not just purely like your turns are my turns kind of stuff. I think that's the key thing that I think makes this card more entertaining as well as like interesting for me.
And I was trying to build like phase around him at first, but it just didn't feel right. Because he technically, I mean, like it's removed from the game kind of, but he's still there. And so flickering made the teleporting feel more to me, I guess, like more tangible. And I don't think he's busted because if you are exiling him and returning him, you can't give him counters, you can't give him equipment, you can't give him auras, right? So really, it's more for like things like Biden of Thassa and stuff like that, where connecting is going to be important. He can't do it on his own. Again, you got to build the connection around him with stuff like Biden of Thassa, Coastal Piracy, or whenever you deal combat damage to a player, draw more cards or exile a card from their hand or whatever it may be. But yeah, this is my guy. This is my boy.
I mean,
I had to build him.
And the thing that you gave him first strike, and like let's say you're not interacting with his ability, you still give him like. You can still Voltron him up a little bit and just never use that ability. So it's like I still have first strike on the guy. I give him some death touch. I give him some other evasion, and now I just have like a little beater that like I can activate this thing now, and then it'll be
protect
fine.
him.
It'll protect him. So I think that's pretty cool.
A Voltron with a backup flicker protection isn't bad,
which is better than just stapling hexproof and ward on him.
Yeah,
that's
so
really
there we
cool.
go. That's Nightcrawler.
So this will be my last one, but not Corey's last.
I
That
made a whoopsie.
No, it's cool. It's cool. The more the better, right? And everyone in the comments, let us know. This next one is the most broken thing I could imagine, because the thought process was this.
More than Apocalypse?
The thought process was this. I want someone to say this is worse than Atraxa. I want someone to be like,
I can say that about Apocalypse.
Okay, well, then I'm a really good builder. I almost imagined this as a Wooburg commander. But
no.
I figured this would be funny to have as Jeskai, but maybe I should make it Wooburg. But Captain Marvel,
the trample, maybe just 4-color, no black.
Not nano black. Yeah, I could do that.
Because she doesn't have a black ability, but the trample's green.
Yeah. Captain Marvel, but I wanted her to be like a 5-color commander. So like maybe I'll put a black in there where it's just like regenerate. Captain Marvel, head of the Ultimates. It's Jeskai, and it's broken. It's just broken. I could put a 1 in there, or I could put another color in there. Legendary creature, human warrior hero, flying, lifelink, haste, vigilance, and trample. I wanted something worse than Atraxa. I wanted something to be like, this is the one now. This is the one that everyone hates, and no one should play it on the board. But whenever Captain Marvel, head of the Ultimates, enters, attacks, or blocks, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. So if you want to go wide, go wide. If you want to just put it on her, put it on her. But whenever Captain Marvel, head of Ultimates, deals combat damage, double the number of 1/1 counters on each creature you control. So people can block it if they want to. But more than likely, everything's just gonna get big. And I wanted
man, she doesn't have hexproof. This doesn't seem too bad actually.
She's powerhouse. I don't think she should have hexproof. She shouldn't have ward, but she should just be like this comet bullet flying through space
aggro
at lightning speed, and you're just like, oh my god, like
dude, this is fine. I think Apocalypse is the only one that's like a problem.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, she dies to removal.
Yeah.
She dies to removal. She dies to edict effects. She dies to -1/-1 counters. She can't be recast from your graveyard for 3. We love this, Tom. We love this. I think this is great. I think add the green in there at the very least, and it would balance out the trample, and you're set.
I think honestly, I might just make it a 5-color, just because I think that's just right. Because Captain Marvel, for everyone that is watching and kind of only knows her from the movies, she's the head of Alpha Flight. Yeah. She's been part of the Avengers, the head of the Ultimates, and people don't, in the main Marvel universe, the Ultimates is like the Avengers for multiversal events. So like their Avengers are like Earth's mightiest heroes, and it's like there's Sword that's like supposed to stop against space attacks, but like the Ultimates is like we're dealing with celestial beings.
Yeah.
And so
Tom,
like,
I think the lifelink is a black ability, black mana ability, and the trample's green. You add those 2 colors, you're set.
yeah, and I think
Make her a 4/4.
yeah, yeah, and if I made her, yeah,
Or 3/3, she enters as a 4/4, right?
yeah, yeah.
As soon as she enters, you put a counter on her. Yeah.
So,
Dude, yeah. I like this one.
And then
this one's fine.
And also, like, if someone has a Vornclex, it gets stopped, right? So, like,
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, this is fine. This is great.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. I'll make this.
I love this.
I'll make this a Wooburg. I'll re-edit it and put it up there.
Yeah.
So everyone, you're seeing the proper one. I
Give
originally
her
made it
3/3 and Wooburg, and the dude, I like this one a lot. I don't think this is busted at all. I mean, Arwen and Aragorn do the same thing. When they enter or attack, put a counter on each creature you control. And Colonian Hydra does that. Colonial Hydra does it on attack, not even connect. So it's like double the 1/1 counters. So I don't think this is that, but I think this is fairly balanced for 5 colors. Yeah, dude, well done.
There you go, guys. Wizards.
This is my favorite one. This is my favorite.
It's like, oh, cool. The one I'm cool to play with.
You got to build this deck. This is great.
And also you could do human, tribal, or warrior, typal, whatever you want to do. Kindred.
And counters matter is so fun. And adding the green gets you all the counters matter stuff too, which is great.
And
dude,
and we talked like who would be a 5-color commander, and I'm like Captain Marvel should be a 5-color commander.
Yeah, easy
for sure, because she's like a Joda in some regards.
Yeah. That's my favorite one. I want you to build that so bad. My honorable mention one, because I built too many. I got carried away. I built a beast one that I didn't put in here either, where it was agile scientist. But this one, no more mutants. 3 Wooburg. When you said it talking about her, I was like, so legendary sorcery, right? 3 in a Wooburg. You may cast a legendary sorcery only if you control legendary creature or planeswalker. Choose a mutant creature you control. It becomes a human instead of its other types until end of turn. Exile all non-human creatures and all non-creature, non-land permanents. Each opponent takes 1 damage for each creature they control that was exiled this way. And I think I'm going to change it to permanent. Each permanent they control that was exiled this way. But I felt like, right? So no more mutants doesn't affect humans in non-mutated humans, right? So I went with the non-human creatures. Turning your, in the storyline, theoretically, what we thought is that Wanda saved herself and her brother, right? By turning off their mutant genes. So turn whatever creature you have. Maybe it's Wanda. Maybe you've got Scarlet Witch out and you turn her into a human till end of turn. So you save her, right? And you exile everything else. So it's because you have to have a legendary out to do it. I didn't want you to have to be like, I'm gonna cast this legendary spell so then I can just exile it with this spell. So this is the way you save your legendary creature you want to save, and exile the rest. It could have been, I think maybe 2 Wooburg would have been fine. Also, 3 in Wooburg seems like a lot, but I don't know.
There's almost part of me that's like, for that cost, it should have split second.
Yeah. No, because after I built this, I was thinking about Farewell, which is like only 6, and it does basically this and graveyards. But it doesn't do the damage, which I really like.
Yeah, the damage is good.
So I think maybe 1 in a Wooburg even might be fine, but somewhere in here, all 5 colors, exile all non-humans. That's just what I built. This is my last entry to the list. I don't think it's as well balanced as my other ones that I built, but I was really trying to make this work really hard, and it was hard. It was hard to make this moment work on a card that felt not super overpowered and not unflavorful.
I respect so much your restraint, because I was just like, how do I break all these cards for flavor? But also it's like, I just gotta.
Maybe it's just Wooburg too. Maybe we're just reducing the cost more and more. So maybe it's just Wooburg. Ignore the 3. It's Wooburg. Legendary sorcery. Destroy. Exile everything, except whatever you've chosen to. And the cool thing is, choose a mutant creature you control. Right? You don't target it. So if it has Shroud or something, you can still save the one you want to save. So if you have Lightning Greaves on your legendary, you can still save that one. So yeah, there it is. And the art, I don't know. I just love that art's choice.
I mean,
that's my extra card.
no, that's good. That's good. And yeah, again, everyone watching, listening, if you had fun with it, let us know, and then tell us what cards you would imagine, how you would build it. If our cards were whack or they were cool, if you loved them, if you want to build it yourself, let us know. We want to hear from you guys. Corey, I'm actually really surprised we both stuck away like from Magneto, because I feel like that's...
Well, I thought you were gonna do it. That's why.
Well, so in my mind I was like, I can't. Like I was gonna like, Corey's a mutant man. I'm gonna let him do mutant stuff. And
I didn't for sure because like I was like I won't do Magneto because that's Tom's probably number one.
I mean,
that's Tom's number one guy.
I would totally make a Magneto, but maybe that'll be another one. Maybe that'll be another one. If you guys really want to see more, let us know. And this is actually pretty fun, and like I feel like there's a world where we just build these. Who knows? And if you haven't checked out already, Cardboard Champs, our Commander gameplay show, where we take precons, where we take our own brews, where we switch the cards up, all this good stuff. It's more Commander videos that you've already seen, but not the way you've seen it before, because we're hosting it and it's a lot of fun.
We'll have to do these on there. We'll build some mutant decks before they come out and order some proxies. And
there's part of me that's like, if we blind build the proxies, shuffle them up, and then like give to players, like, cool, build around this, build around that. That'd be
cool. That's cool.
Because then it's a deck building challenge.
Yeah. That's right. I like that. I like that a lot. Cool, man. Well, thank you for this, Tom. This was a great idea. I hope we get to do another one of these because this was really fun. This can't be the last one.
No. So we're relying on you, the listeners, the audiences, to help us out. Share it with the algorithm gods. And also, if you haven't already, check the description below for our TCG player affiliate link. If you're already buying Magic cards, this is going to just help us out. Again, you're building your decks. Now you just have the karma and the goodwill that you're like helping some small creators keep the lights on, and then hopefully building more Magic videos for you guys. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, Corey, this is a lot of fun. I appreciate us doing this on such a quick turnaround. It's going to be an interesting time in the Commander world, as well as in Magic as Standard, Universes Beyond. And I hope people who, feel a certain kind of way can kind of join the excitement and fun. I was there where I was kind of like, I love the Magic lore and I wish it would stay that way. But this is something that you can just be excited about and then, turn your game into more fun. So, cool. Thank you, everybody.
Sing us out, baby.
You know the drill. As always, nerd on.
Nerd on.